Hello, Hannah Mackay here. Today we're going to do some shiatsu for the arms and particularly around the elbows. So we've looked at some points that are more in the lower arm and the hand, and today I'd like to introduce a couple more points which help the elbows, and also talk a little bit about some work to help the joints using the elbow here as an example. So often in my shiatsu practice I like to use what we call proximal distal joint work. So the distal side of the elbow is the lower arm and the proximal side, closer to the centre, is the upper arm. So often we spend more time, particularly with the arms, stabilising the proximal side and moving the distal side. So for example, this is me working with the mouse on the computer, holding this side of the elbow still and moving this side. Less often we hold the distal side still and move the proximal side. That would look like this. So in order to get a good flow of energy through the joints, it can be useful to try to work both sides of the joint evenly together. So in terms of the elbows, this might look like this. So I'm moving both sides of the elbow joint here together. I can do that in different ways. So the movement is in the upper arm and the lower arm. And for me, I'm aware that the smoothness of this movement is better in my left arm than my right arm because I'm right-handed, so I tend to use my right arm more unevenly. I stabilise the upper arm and I use the lower arm to work with the mouse or things like that. So getting into this kind of flowing movement through the joint, working with the proximal and distal sides of the joint together, can be helpful to get a good flow of energy through the joint and to allow any issues, any places where the joint's a bit stuck, to open up, and also can help to bring more nourishment into the joint. We can also do this in other joints of the body, like for example this is what it would look like more for the wrist, working the proximal side and the distal side of the joint. So in terms of points that are quite good around the elbow area of the arm, we have large intestine 10. So that's on the top of this bulge of muscle. If we hold the thumb upwards like this, it's on the top of the arm, on top of this muscle here, below the elbow. And large intestine 10 can help to bring more strengthening to the body, bringing more energy in the same way that stomach 36 does. But it's a bit more focused into the arm particularly, so it's good for strengthening the arm. It's also good for releasing energy that may have got stuck. Like for example, I've been doing some sawing up some wood, so this muscle's a bit tight in me, so it's good to release out some of that tightness on this right side. And the other point that I wanted to show you was triple heater 10. So triple heater 10 is behind the point of the elbow here. If you straighten the arm, the point kind of disappears because it's in this hole that's this depression that's created when we bend the arm. So triple heater 10 is very good for working with the elbow. It's also good for moving phlegm and for certain types of headaches. But it's particularly good for just allowing the flow of energy to come down through the arm, through the elbow. So that's large intestine 10, triple heater 10, and some proximal distal joint work